Booties for the intake manifold. I'm going to put these on right now, I hope. Got to take a run and get some money. It's Thursday. It's payday for me. And I can put these puppies back on. See you in a bit. So it's been a good night. I straightened out my wheels. They were kind of like towed in ridiculously. I had to loosen the clamps, loosen these bolts and push the thing back and tighten them up on both sides. Got my new intake booties. The urethane instead of rubber. The rubber seems to dry up and crumble and make a hell of a mess and leak gas down the front of your engine. That's awesome. Transmission fluid, as you will see, looks like coffee. It's probably dated 1974, which would make it 44 years old. So I got some 80-90 for a boat, rust preventative, blah blah blah. I took the bumper off. I haven't touched it, but I took the bumper off. I'm not zoomed in, just a little bit. The throttle's working. I had to adjust it a little bit. It was too tight. I took the choke off because it didn't seem like it was working. It just needed to be adjusted. But it's looking good. Starts right up. Starts like a Volkswagen, you know, not the first click, like the fifth. I had a gas leak on the line because it had wire ties on it. Now I have clamps. I should take those off, huh? They don't hold good. I thought they did. They don't leak there, but it leaks up near the tank for some stupid reason. I'd like to put an LED in my blue ball. That'd be cool. I haven't got a chance to drive it yet. Probably tomorrow will be the first real ride with the tires straightened out so it doesn't death wobble. So it's been a good night. I had to, what do you call it, tow in my rear wheels here. They were pointed together in the front. So you got to loosen the 6 bolts, 3 on this side, 3 on the other side. Push it back from there and tighten it all up. That's all set. I had some really milky white gear oil in here. I don't know why, but I decided to check it, and it was like coffee syrup. So I got all new oil in there. It's 8090. I just changed it right there, SuperTech. My choke didn't seem like it was working. I had to take it apart, completely test it with a voltmeter, and I put the battery charger on it and let it heat up a little bit, and it did work. It just took it a while. So I cleaned it up and put it back on and tuned it when it's ice cold. I changed my booties. I got some red urethane ones. The orange looking rubber things were garbage. They just dried up. One winter, imagine that. Just sitting, they dried up. This one's all brand new. Manifolds are all bolted back on. I like to use Allen bolts too. That's a nice trick. Instead of using those 13s you can't get off, use some Allen bolts with a ball head Allen wrench. I had to take the battery bracket off so I could gain access to the plug right there to drain the transmission. I did the one underneath. I got a bunch of pictures of that. What a mess. Stuff is like coffee. Looks like coffee. But I got the heater going out here. It's nice and warm actually. I'm eating some Taco Bell. And it's been a good night. I took the bumper off. That was it. I took the bumper off. That was a struggle because I actually welded the bolts to the point where you couldn't slide them out because the metal was in the way. Whoops. So I ended up cutting the bolts. It's a beautiful Saturday and I'm going to mess with that bumper. I think I'm going to remake these. I think I'm going to make them longer and reach the front bolt and the middle bolt. I have more steel. I always got plenty of steel. I only like spot welded it here and here. I don't know, a little heavier than a spot weld, but I can cut it off. I want to grind those tubes off. I have the Trike outside. Check this out. I ran out of gas. I went for the first ride, went up and down the street, turned around, and ran out of gas. But I got rid of my death wobble by doing a rear end alignment. These tires are supposed to be bowed out 0.5 degrees, or else they make you death wobble. And they were making me death wobble. I feel really good now. I connected these fog lights. Those are on with the ignition. My siren, my horns, all that stuff's hooked up. Battery's in. My little gas tank is empty. I put some marker lights on the sides just to add some lights because I got tons of these things. Speedo's in, the tach's in. What else is in? Oh, I have a wireless ignition. I can hit a button on a keychain and it doesn't disable it. Well, it kind of does. When you turn it on, it's not enabled, so you can't start it. You can turn the lights on, but you can't start it. You press the button, a little light comes on, and then you can start it. I had my tires off. I got some lug nuts. I pushed it out here, took it for a ride, and went along pretty good. I got to loosen my steering. It's a little bit too tight. It'll hold it straight if you want it to. And it's kind of a fight, so I got to get rid of that. I could put my windshield back on if I want, but I'd like to take the tank off and make some more wire shapes over it. Eventually skin it. I might take the ski mobile backrest off, go with something else. I don't know. We'll see. But runs and drives. Ride's good, too. Kind of weird. I haven't driven one of these in forever. Oh, I found this. I found my wing nut. I was looking for this wing nut forever. Dawn's home. 69 Buick. Dawn refuses to drive anything fuel injection. Gotta get out of the sun here. Intake manifolds all back together with new Booties. These are urethane. There's no more gas dripping on my manifold. These lights go right to the coil power, so when you turn anything on, it comes on. I got a brand new single wire. I think it's a 95 amp alternator. I gotta check my oil. Oh, I did all my transmission fluids. I took that drain out right there, and the one on the bottom, and filled it up with all new gear oil. It looked like coffee syrup or something. It wasn't even that thick, excuse me. But I'd like to make the gas tank mount too, maybe, if I could mess with some brackets and some angle iron. Make the tank mount to go across the side. But it looks good. Clean up this mess soon. I have a spoke rim if I want it. I have another front end that's got a spoke rim and a disc brake and all the pieces that go to it. I want to hook it up. I might, but I like how this one matches the style of the Monte Carlo rims. They're just, of course, a different color. I'd like to put an LED in my shifter ball because I can. A lot of little things, but she runs and drives. I took her for a ride. Wasn't bad. I don't have a camera mount or anything, so I couldn't really show you the first real ride without a death wobbling. I love the handlebars. I might move them back a little. I got long arms, but I don't need them above my head. Or I could move the seat up and back because I think it sits a little too far forward for me. I might have to space it back and maybe even move a bracket or something. I don't know, but it sits too nose down, know what I mean? You're kind of being forced to lean forward while you're driving. But if I laid it back a couple clicks, I think it'll be fine. Battery mount held good. Little lawnmower battery works good. Clears the swing arm nice. No issues there. Brand new axles. Well, brand new, rebuilt by me with Booties and everything and new grease. But I let it run for a little bit, burn off the gas that was in the exhaust and all the crap and oil, because this engine's really never been run for a long time. My choke did open, so that's a good thing. Clutch and brake works. I got to make a brake reservoir. I got to find something small to use as a tank to hold the brake fluid, because right now I'm running it on whatever's in there, you know, and if that dried up, I'd be in some serious trouble. But I love the handlebars for 20 bucks. Can't beat that. And the $40 headlight and the $50 front end and the free seat for a bicycle, for a mountain bike. $15 rims and tires. Spinners for free. Rear subframe I traded for some rims. It came with the transmission. The engine I got for 40 bucks, and you don't want to know how much I put into that engine. But it's running and driving. And I'm going to go clean the garage, fill up some trash bags. I got so much crap. My barrels are all full. Full. And I got some trash in here. All my wires I've been picking through last night. I made a tester tool for, excuse me. You put this wire on ground, and then when you touch this wire to that wire, it lights up the LED, just a test wire for some harnesses. I might use it at work. I think that's a good idea. But if you touch this to this, it's got a little tiny 12-volt battery, and the LED lights up. It's good for chasing wiring harnesses, because that's what I kind of do all day, you know. But having fun sorting stuff out. I'm going to pick that bumper up and find a place to put it. I don't have any kind of stands or anything to put in the middle. Like I said, another table or something, but I'm going to have to cut those tubes off, and I think I'm going to do that right now. So I'll be taking pictures as I go, and let's have a good day. By the way, it's absolutely beautiful out for the first time in forever. About time. It's been getting snow. You say the word snow, it starts snowing. I shouldn't have said snow, huh? Is Rich's sheet metal. Actually, that's a sheet metal for my other engine. Rich has a chrome set of tins over here. He's got all chrome stuff for his engine. That's his engine right there, all wrapped up. That's my rehab engine there, made from parts, which is going to be nothing but black and bone stock, not even, just degreased. I'm not going to wash it, nothing, just degreased. I'm not even going to paint it. It's just going to be a ratty engine to go on this trike eventually, because I want to build one just like my friends online. Ron Mamula, if I said it right, but that's going to be the Ron Mamula trike. The, what do you call it? That one should be nice. I got so many parts. Did a pretty good job filling in that side. That was wide open because I had to put two pieces together to make one. There's actually one rear subframe connected to a front subframe for another one or something like that, and the way to do it is connect them at the front. This is actually, it was cut about right there, so this whole rear subframe was one trike and the front end is another trike. And you saw what I was making. I can get another Harley seat, not a big deal. I still have the backrest and the front pad. They're kicking around here somewhere actually. There's the back pad right there. These are the seats for Rich's trike. They're like this weird 70s blue swirly crazy design. Here's the front spoke front end, Kawasaki KZ440. Probably an older year. The tire on it is junk though, so I'd have to get a tire for it. But it's got the brake line and the clips and the old fender and the reservoir with the switch. Well, not the reservoir, the union where everything connects and bolts to the column. Here's my rings for my new tank. I gotta make a bracket to hold those things down, then I can put the tank on and connect it. I have an air valve somewhere. I was wondering if I could use this as like a fuel shutoff. See if I got it in here. I wonder if this could go from one tank to the other, because it's a splitter. It could be a line in, 1/4 inch NPT, and 2 lines out, 1/4 inch NPT. And you could just pick your tank. It could be on the master tank, which is the big aluminum thing right here. Or it could be on the little reserve lawnmower tank, which is probably going to happen if you run out of gas, you know. I don't know if this can handle it though, so I'll have to find out. Fluid powered division, so probably for hydraulics. I don't think gas could ruin it, but won't know until you try it, right? And you only click out a little bit and it could swap tanks. I thought that was pretty neat. I'll have to try it with the air gun. But I'm going to clean up today. I got stuff everywhere. I got the broom ready. The heater, I'm probably going to run it till it's empty, or very little, and put it up on the shelf. Get it off the floor. Pick up the wiring mess, because I've been making things. So I bought these at the flea market. Where is it? Right here. They're like $2. Bought some battery clamps. For what? I don't know yet. Maybe go on Dad's battery charger and replace the ones I destroyed, because I Mickey Mouse some on there, but they're okay. They're not bad. These aren't bad. They're just old. This is Dad's battery charger / mine. Here's the old T-bar. This is now my metal collection, which isn't much. I used to have a lot of metal. I don't have much now, and it's not cheap anymore. But that's it. Time to clean the garage and have a good day. I will take as many pictures as I can. Maybe one of me taking a ride on this thing. I would like to loosen up the column though. It's kind of a struggle to turn the wheel. Not a bad thing if you're parking it, but I'd like the wheel to turn a little easier. Alright, we'll be back. Well, I just took my first real ride up and down the street. The steering was just a little bit off to the left. The bars are straight, but the wheel wasn't. Just had to loosen some nuts. 14 and a 12 and tweak it a little bit. First gear is almost useless. You instantly go into wheelie. It was crazy fast. I added a little selector switch so you can go between the main fuel tank and this reserve tank, which is like 2 gallons, I think, 2.5 gallons. I'm going to see if I can make some brackets for this beauty. Hopefully not connected to the bumper. I got the bumper off and I did clean off those stupid tubes that were on it. Both of them are removed. I also cut those other brackets off. I'm going to make another way of doing it. Something that'll bring everything level to the same height as the bumper, including the chair for whoever sits in back if they're crazy enough. But scary. I mean, I'm shaking. It was crazy fast. I added, this is an old school bus switch. I mean real old, like 70s. This came out of the junkyard. When you pull this out, the fog lights will stay on, but any other time the ignition switch will kill them. Yeah, so I'm thinking this hoop, this little hole right here in the transmission could be a mount that comes up. Maybe something off the transmission here, the transmission cradle. Maybe that bolt, I don't know. Maybe this bolt, I don't know. If I get enough threads, maybe I could grab some meat and get a bracket off of that. But you can't really get to the frame horn on this side. There's almost nothing there. But I do have an engine cradle plate right here. That kind of could be something to grab. And looking at it, you can hit it on both sides and miss the transmission. See, it's right there. I'm going to see if I put a piece of angle iron there, if I can go straight up and it won't interfere with anything. Still shaking. I found out what this is. I metered it. What it does is when you hit the key, these two wires, they're always connected. When you hit the key, it disconnects them, so it's probably like a headlight kill or something. So you put all the power to the starter. It doesn't really need it. It runs so good. Once you let it warm up, it's fine. It's got to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? When you do a wheelie, the mufflers drag. Yeah. Gonna definitely need some wheelie bars or something. But it's actually very well balanced. I was saying the other day, I don't know if I told you guys, but when you take this wheel off and you get it on a stand, I don't know why, maybe just a little bit of weight from the tire forward, the front end comes off the ground and wants you to do a wheelie. But with all 225 pounds of me on the front, it's a little harder to get it to do a wheelie. But it was fun. I did a little tear around my neighborhood and talked to a couple neighbors. And next is fenders and fuel tanks and front fender and front fake tank cover, and still got so many things to do, you know. And Jeff still got his KZ440 here. He's going to work on that thing soon, I hope. We can both go riding maybe. This tire is very, very, very cracked. in between the cracks on one side. It's like it sat in the sun or something. On one side it's really cracked, so I'm going to have to get a new tire. I don't know if I'm going to use this rim or that rim. Either one should fit because they're both Kawasaki. Kawasaki. I don't know if this one's longer or what, but I could also steal that fender if I really had to. But I have the Red Baron fender here, that homemade one me and my dad had made a while ago. I just have to put the bracket inside of it and weld it. But this is what I need right now. The tank clamps. I'm going to get a measurement from the inside of this seam to the inside of this seam and see if I can keep the brackets just to the left of that weld. Maybe come a little bit inboard. We'll see. But that's my next project. So we'll keep these over here. I cleaned out so much I can actually sit on my stool. This had Richard's engine on it forever. I put a piece of that Kevlar on the back seat that I don't use in my van, so I could use as like a table. And I put his engine on it. It's under that coat. There's a bunch of Kawasaki parts. My grinding helmet, of which I do not grind without a helmet or face mask on. Been to the hospital too many times. Here's my little pool ball. That thing's pretty cool. It was like 60 bucks. I recently had a problem with my camera. I couldn't make any videos. I could take hundreds of pictures, but anytime you did a video, it would do memory overrun or something stupid like that. But I fixed that. I had to get a new memory card. It was, every time you made a video, it would go, oh, do you want to try and restore this? It would just crash. I'm shaking a little, ain't I? But really nice machine. A lot of fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. I had to shut the door because the sun's like right there. I couldn't get any good pictures. All that work. Oh, I got a little shriek horn thing here too. I haven't connected it yet. It's like an alarm horn. I have some motion detectors. I could hook something up like that. I haven't tried my siren out on the road yet, but I did have to loosen this nut. The neck was just a little bit too tight. I put it on with an impact gun. Maybe I did a little bit too much. And I'm not talking a big, beefy, snap-on impact gun. I'm talking my little cheap, crappy Craftsman one, which has like 12 foot-pounds. It's a piece of caca. I almost said the S word. The grips work nice. The controls work nice. The throttle is perfect. It doesn't get bound up or anything. It doesn't bounce back too hard. It's easy to turn. The brand new starter works good. Everything's working good. I just got to keep up with putting all these wires and looms. Those are for the bumper and the taillights. Then I'll figure out the back. I'm going to make that bumper carry out all the way up and then go down to this bolt. Instead of just grabbing it here, I'm going to get a nice piece of steel and make it connect to the whole thing. But I'm going to cut some angle iron, I hope, and work on making a mount for the gas tank. The big gas tank. We're talking 11 gallons. I think that one is 2, maybe 3, 2.5. I don't know, I'd have to look it up. But I'm having fun, man. I got a whole bunch of pictures to show you. There's so much I've done since you came here last, one of which was adding these lights too, these little floodlights. Suckers are bright. Let's turn on this. And they're not on, so you got to pull this out to turn them on. And it can stay like that, because if I flick the switch over here, they go off. It's just like a kill switch, so like during the day you don't want them on, you can shut them off, because they're pretty friggin' bright. What else did I do? I made the wireless starting thing. Not necessarily starts it, but you can't press this button. The starter doesn't do anything when you first turn it on, once it's been off, until you have, I have a key fob that will activate it. But having fun. It's actually nice out. I don't know what time it is. I should see what time it is. What time is it? It is 6:59, so it's 7 o'clock. I did a lot of research on doing the rear wheel alignment. You're supposed to have a 0.5 toe-in on both rear wheels. Well, I don't have a front end to mark it to, so I went by the face of the tube and I put a beam across and I was measuring in and out, and I measured from one tire face to the other tire face on both sides, and I gave it about 3/16 of an inch in. It ain't going to be perfect. I also noted where every bolt stopped. These 3 bolts, when you loosen them, you can slide the wheel forward or back. I had this mad death wobble thing going on. You'd go up the street and your front end would start shaking. That's because the wheels were so far in, meaning they were like this, that it would put all the steering load or the rear tire load on the front wheel, and it would just shake it one side, then the other wheel would shake it to the other side, and you just death wobble. I just went screaming up the street. it doesn't death wobble anymore. So it was worth the 3 hours. I added these lights. Those come on with the ignition. I'll show you. Turn on the ignition. And just 2 marker lights on the fan shroud. I had them, you know. I'm going to add a lot of red lights on the side, but I wanted to put these LED yellow ones on the shroud just for the hell of it. I have a little LED light that's pretty bright. I might aim it towards the Red Baron sign and make a bracket somewhere that you can just point it up and light up the Red Baron logo thing. Because that's what it is. It's a Red Baron Volkswagen Trike. I got to get some more red on this damn thing. The engine's mostly red. Well, there's a lot of red. Once we get the covers and seats and things like that, and fenders and front fender and gas tank, all that stuff will probably be red. I should shut off my ignition here. I'll burn up my coil. So, all the lights work, the tach works, the speedometer works. This was the nut I had to loosen up, the big one. It was just a little bit too tight. I should look up the torque specs on it. The weird thing about a trike, you're holding it 2 hands. You're in first gear. You go for second gear. You let go of the handlebars, and you got to get your motorcycle arms. You got to learn to hold the wheel straight with one hand because you got to shift. Once you're rolling, the spinning of the wheel makes a what do they call it? Like a dynamic weight that will keep you straight. But if you're not moving fast, you can flop the handlebars off to the side, and you don't want to do that because you'll go flying off the side. There's my bicycle cable. Goes down, goes to one of those bicycle cable things, and it just turns into a steel cable until it gets to here where there's a clamp. That's temporary. I'm going to get a long pedal bike cable and hopefully hook it up correctly and not screw it up. But I went around tightening all the exhaust studs because I know they loosen up. When you first start it, they heat up and then they shrink, and you do it a couple times, they loosen off. These are actually copper nuts. I got the nice copper nuts from Mike. I have urethane mounts on the back. Urethane mounts on the front. The transmission, I did a gear oil change in it, and I mean, it is like soup. It wasn't even soup, it was coffee. It was actually as thin as coffee. Let me get another grip here. I'll show you some pictures of the fluid that came out from underneath into my little catch pan. It was a combination of water and something, but it was probably down about half a quart, and this thing takes like 3.2 or 3.5 quarts. All brand new now. Shifts so easy. What a difference. It's like night and day. I greased up all the little joints where the shifter goes. Turns out Dad's loose socket works better than a tight one because it allows a little bit of play and it flops around, and you can get the hockey stick to go in any gear you want without struggling. The exhaust, I'm sure, had a bunch of gas in it that have to burn off, so I ran it for a while, let it warm up. I opened the air cleaner, checked the choke. It's working good. It wasn't before. It was stuck shut for some reason. It may have been that the air cleaner was too low and it was hitting the arm or something, but it's working good now, so I just keep an eye on it. It's been fun. Crazy, crazy fast. First gear is useless. First gear is for doing a wheelie. That's about it. But I like how the weight of me is what holds the front end down, so you can pop a wheelie if you had to. But I'm going to work on making that bracket right now, and I'll be sure to show you plenty of pictures either in the middle of this video or right now. Alright, well I cut some pieces of 1.5" angle iron and flipped it upside down. This is where the tank is going to sit. It's 25 3/4 inches wide, and I think it was 5 3/4 wide and 25 3/4 long. And I ground all the corners nice and pretty for the upside visible side. This is it's like a weldable primer that's on this stuff. It is really good. This stuff's been sitting outside. I got it for free. I got like 6 or 8 sticks of it for free from the junkyard. From my friend Victor. Victor, many years, like, God, 20 years, maybe more, since I moved to Hudson. I mean Manchester. I used to live in Hudson. Hudson from Manchester, or vice versa. Let's see. I'm excited. Sides all nice and clean. So one strap there, one strap here. I gotta mark it off. Figure out what's the front, take the straps off. I'm gonna mount these first. Drill the holes, mark these up. How am I saying? Mark the holes, drill them, make it bolt down, find the bolts, then make this bracket fit the trike. Probably tomorrow because it's getting kind of dark. And it's cold in here. We still haven't gotten nice weather. It was a beautiful day today, but once the sun goes down, man, it's cold. So here's my fuel tank bracket. Alright, I'm going to see if I can do a little more. Well, that's it. Probably a couple hours of work. I rounded off the corners after I welded them because, like I said, it's all visible. It goes face down like this. Well, if you call it face down. Had some Allens from work with square nuts. Where are those? Right here. They throw them out. I got my big ring clamps for the tank. This is 1.5" angle iron. All the holes are drilled, the straps are bolted down. I just have to take the straps off and make this mount right behind the engine somehow at 25 3/4 from here to here. It's been a good night, been a good day, been a good week. Well, sort of. Work's been a pain in the ass lately. Just once. 2 days at one place all day, like 14 hours one day, 15 hours the next. You get really tired, you know. But think of all the money for next week. Not that I get any of it. Should be nice to lay the tank in here and figure out how I'm going to mount it in the back. It's got to be higher than that cable, unless I make a notch. It's got to be higher than the starter, unless I make a notch. I got to mount it off that bottom bracket down there. Make it come up on both sides. More angle iron. Connect my fuel lines. There's my little tank. That was a good idea to have a little reserve tank, maybe, you know, going down the road and we run out of gas, you're in the middle of nowhere, you just go beep, other tank. I think 11 gallons is quite a bit. I gotta figure out how to make some kind of a way to check the level on the big tank. Maybe the glass tube or the plastic tube. You ever seen that done? They put a little vent on the top. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna mount here. Maybe something. Who knows? There's a couple of holes here. I'd like to put a couple American flags on it somewhere. Just little ones. Just mount them off the back. That's way in the future. I still gotta find an LED to light up my ball. I like that thing. Oh, my goodness. Let's turn the lights on. Turn the ignition on. During the day they're really not that bright, but at night they light up the area, and like I said, it's all about being seen. The speedo's lit up, the tachometer's lit up, everything's connected, everything works. I really have like 2% left to do on the wiring. You can actually hear the idle solenoid back there clicking. The marker lights I like. I wanted them on the side of the engine. Even though they're yellow, they'd probably be red. I should put 2 yellow ones up front also. I think that's a law or something. You could have marker lights. I'm going to have a whole ton of marker lights on the side, I think. It's all about being seen. That's it, boys and girls. I am beat. After making that thing, I'm going in. Get the wires. Holy crap. I straightened out the front end. The wheel was turned just a little bit to the side versus the front, versus the handlebars. You'd be straight, but you were going right. It's nice and straight too. I did this thing with a laser. Looks good. Rides good. Goes fast. First gear is scary. First gear you don't even use. First gear you go up in wheelies. I already did one. I had one of these 35 years ago, maybe more. Actually, it wasn't even mine. It was my friend Ed's, but I rode it like crazy. And one day I go over his house. He sold it. He didn't even tell me. And I kept saying, I'm going to build one of these days. This is one of those days. She's awesome. Well, he's awesome. I'm going to warm up under this little stove here. It's not real cold, but it's cold enough that I only have a t-shirt on. My arms are filthy. My little skinny arms. Not that dirty, but I was wearing my gloves. That's from grinding. Whoops. Here's my tablet. It's absolutely filthy. Everything over here is filthy. I've been grinding. Oh, here's my skull. This used to be on my keychain years ago. See the skull? My drill, my impact, my drills, my other impact gun. Where's my other impact gun? My other impact gun. One's got a socket, one does drill bits, you know. But this is pretty cool. I'm going in. You have a great night. The hell did I trip over? Well, I wanted to thank Victor for all the angle iron. He always asks me, is it for you? Yes. Is it not for you? Then you're going to pay for it. Gave me like 6 sticks of 1.5" angle iron. Nice stuff. Really nice stuff. I use it for everything. I mean, what can't you make with a piece of angle iron? Especially when you're the bracket king. You really got to know how to make brackets when it comes to this thing. Cut it, weld it, grind it, shape it. Bracket. Have a good night. I will see you later. Oh, don't trip. I'm going to trip. Have a good night.